What is up, sexy beast? Bald Zero Stripe Gum here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Rift E9 and putting it up against the RAYGUN Mark II and seeing which is the better weapon to have. So let's go ahead and get this shit started. So originally I had wanted to put the Rift E9 up against the original RAYGUN, but I felt like the Rift E9 is too good for the original RAYGUN and it really needs some competition, so I stepped it up to the Mark II. And before we actually do get into all the comparisons and everything, I'm just gonna let you guys watch and listen to both of these weapons. Not really to compare them or anything, but just so you guys can get familiar with them. So here you go. So unfortunately, the Rift E9 is only in Revelations, and I feel like that's why it's not widely known to be one of the best weapons in all of Call of Duty Zombies history. I've said this before, and I will say it again. Out of all the non-Wonder Weapons besides the Kar 98 and PM63, out of all the non-Wonder Weapon guns in Call of Duty Zombies, the Rift E9 is definitely the best. It does have some strong competition, but it is definitely the best, and that's why I thought the RAYGUN Mark II would be a very, very good contender for it. So the first thing we'll be taking a look at is the usual, is going to be the fire rate. Which one has the faster fire rate? If you got a bunch of zombies coming at you, you're going to want to pop a lot of lead, or like plasma, or whatever these guns use. You're going to want to throw a bunch of that down at those zombies, so let's see which one has the faster fire rate. I did have to lower the RAYGUN Mark II down to 12, because that's how much the Rift E9 carries, and if I start shooting at the exact same time, it is hilariously different. Like, the Rift E9 just has such a slow fire rate. Like, the Shiva has a faster fire rate than the Rift E9, and the Kar 98, it's a lot closer than you would actually think. The Rift E9 is not known for its fast fire rate. The burst portion of it is actually somewhat fast, I guess, but the overall fire rate itself is not quick whatsoever. So when it comes to fire rate, you definitely have to give this one to the Mark III. It's a 3-round burst, and basically you can fire that thing as fast as you can pull the trigger. You can make that thing look almost fully automatic, and we are looking at the Black Ops 2 version, just because that's the original OG one, and I thought that would be a lot more fun than the Black Ops 3 version. So next up, we're taking a look at accuracy. This is hipfire, recoil, ADS, and all the other fun stuffs. If we're taking a look at recoil, the Rift E9 is definitely going to win. The RAYGUN Mark II does have some recoil. You're going to be going straight up. It's not like some other weapons in Zombies, the hammer, the Type 25. It's not like those weapons where your recoil is kind of going to just go in random directions. It's nothing like that. It's just going to go straight up. So it's easy to maintain, but still the Rift E9, since it does not have a fast fire rate, isn't really going to have that much recoil. So if you're ADSing, you're going to be much more accurate with the Rift E9 than you would be with the Mark II. But if we take a look at hipfire, that's going to be a different story. The Mark II's hipfire is going to be very, very accurate, and honestly, majority of the time, I just find myself hip-firing with the Mark II than I do ADSing. I'm much more accurate when I'm hip-firing than I am ADSing. Like, those testicles for the Mark II are very, very tiny, and you can basically almost no-scope a zombie from like halfway across the map. The Mark II is very, very accurate from the hip. While with the Rift E9, it's not as accurate as I would like it to be. It's not the worst weapon I've ever seen, and it's definitely nowhere near the best, but I mean, it's going to be okay if you're up close and personal, but with this weapon, you definitely want it to be accurate, because once you get to high rounds, headshots are going to be the only thing that matter, and you're definitely going to want some accuracy. So if you're ADSing, definitely the Rift E9, but if you're hip-firing, definitely the Mark II. Alright, and last but not least, before we go ahead and take a look at these upgraded versions, let's go ahead and take a look at the reload speed. If I start reloading at the exact same time, they're going to be even. That kind of surprised me, and you will see why once we look at the upgraded versions, but they're even, and that's really kind of a shocker. I was not expecting that whatsoever, but hey, they're even. Alright, so now let's look at both of these weapons upgraded. Let's start with the Mark II first. So the RAYGUN Mark II, or an upgrade to the Porter's Mark II RAYGUN, is going to get a lot of buffs. One, its damage buff. It's going to do a lot more damage. It has a possibility of killing a zombie on round 100. Like, theoretically, it could. Realistically, it probably couldn't. But in theory, you definitely could. It is going to do a lot of headshot damage. Just one of those little plasma thingies is going to kill on round 58, and one burst will kill up until round 70. And you could probably realistically keep using this thing for like another couple rounds. So it's very, very powerful for a non-infinite damage wonder weapon, as long as you're going for headshots. If you're not going for headshots, it's just a little bit more powerful than the RAYGUN. And when you do upgrade it, it does stick to a 3-round burst, but its magazine size does increase from 21 to 42, and its ammo in reserve is going to increase as well from 162 to 201. So it definitely does get some more ammo. I wish it carried a little bit more, but it's still passable. While if we take a look at the Rift E9, or when upgraded to the Elder Invader, it's going to stay a 2-round burst. Its fire rate is also going to stay the same. Its magazine size is going to get a pretty damn good increase. It's going to go from 12 to 60 fucking 8 for a pistol. Like, goddamn, that's a lot. Its ammo in stock is also going to increase from 144 to 272, which is a lot of fucking ammo. And I kind of like to do ghetto math in this series. So unupgraded wise, the Rift E9 has a total of 156 shots, but since it is a 2-round burst, I'm going to go and divide that by 2, so realistically you have about 78 shots. While with the Mark II, unupgraded wise, it's going to carry 183, divide that by 3, and you're going to have about 61 shots. So even though the total ammo of the Mark II does have a little bit more, you're definitely going to be able to get more shots off with the Rift E9. While when we upgrade these things, the Rift E9 in total is going to carry 340, divide that by 2, you have 170 shots. The Mark II, on the other hand, is going to carry 243, divide that by 3 because it's a 3-round burst, and you're only going to have 81 shots. So basically what this tells you is 1, you're going to burn through ammo much faster with the Mark II, duh, it's a 3-round burst, and 2, you're going to take way more shots with the Rift E9 than you would with the Mark II. That could be a positive or a negative, all depends on how you look at it. Alright, so now that we have these weapons upgraded, let's go ahead and redo those tests and see all really what has changed. If we take a look at the fire rate, it is completely embarrassing for the Rift E9, and honestly, I wish it would hide its head in shame. I love the Elder Invader, but goddamn, it has one slow motherfucking fire rate. Like, I don't mind the 2-round burst, I just hate how you have to wait like that half second before you can get back to shooting. Not really the world's biggest fan of that, but I kind of understand it. So when it comes to fire rate, the Mark II is just going to be 20 million times faster. Like, by the time the RAYGUN Mark II gets done shooting 2 magazine fulls of ammo, like the Rift E9 just finally finishes 1. Its fire rate is laughably slow. And if we take a look at accuracy, nothing really changes here. I would much rather ADS with the Rift E9, and I would much rather hip fire with the Mark II. I feel like whenever I do this series, nothing ever changes with accuracy. They always kind of just stay the same. Like, there's been some exceptions, like the hammer unupgraded wise is god-awful with its recoil, but once you upgrade it, it's a lot more tame. But majority of the guns, they don't really change. And I feel like that's something that definitely does need to change. Alright, and lastly, before we talk about both these weapons on round 50, let's take a look at the reload speed. And this is something that I never really noticed about the Rift E9 because you just have Speed Cola and you just naturally think, oh, it's Speed Cola doing it. The Rift E9 has a very impressive reload speed, like, it's incredibly quick. I don't think the Mark II's reload speed increases once you upgrade it, I think it just stays the same. The Rift E9's reload speed increases dramatically, and you can reload that thing so fucking quick. Not that you really are going to find yourself reloading so soon because of the slow fire rate and all the ammo it actually carries, but when you do have to reload, you can definitely count on the Rift E9 getting it done very fucking quick. Alright, so now that we have all those tests over with and you can kind of see the strengths and weaknesses of each of these weapons, let's talk about both these things on round 50 and what are their pros and what are their cons. Let's start with the Mark II first. So the Mark II is a fantastic weapon. I still remember when they introduced it in Black Ops 2, I fell in love with it almost immediately. On early rounds, it's definitely a game changer, and even on late rounds, it's still a game changer. Especially against boss zombies, this thing is going to tear some ass. And like I said, as long as you're going for headshots, it's going to be able to last you for a very, very long time. The only problem I have with it is, I feel like I go through ammo very, very quick with it, because it is a 3-round burst, and, you know, you're probably wasting more ammo than you actually should because you're just spamming the button, and you could basically get this thing to be full auto. You're probably going to waste a lot of extra shots that you necessarily shouldn't have. And saying all that, I never find the Mark II as my killing zombies type of weapon. That's just not, for me, what I use it as. I use it as my boss zombie weapon and my save my ass weapon. If I'm playing on Origins or something like that, I use the stabs to kill the zombies. If I'm playing on Buried, I'm using the Paralyzer. If I'm playing on any other map, I'm using a different weapon to kill the zombies, but this is my running around the map weapon. If halfway through the round, I need to go do something, if I need to stop those Templars, you can bet your ass that I'm going to run over there and stop them with the Mark II than I am with any of the stabs or anything like that. To me, that's what the RAYGUN shines as. It's your running around the map and save your ass weapon. You can bet your ass all the way up until this thing stops being a one-shot, that if you're getting trapped in a corner, it's probably going to save you as long as you're getting those headshots. It's very, very good at that, and it's very, very good at being your run around the map type of weapon. And zombies, I feel like there's 3 types of weapons. Your point weapon, your killing zombie weapon, and your save you weapon. This one definitely falls in your save you weapon category. Well, with the Rift E9, that kind of falls in a different category. It's not going to be your save you weapon. That's just not what it's designed for. It's way too slow, it's way too inaccurate from the hip, and let's face it, when you're about to get cornered, you want something that you can just fire from the hip. You don't want to spend that extra like second or half second ADSing, because that's probably going to end up killing you, and its slow fire rate, I don't see this thing saving me if I'm not ready to get cornered or anything like that, like the Mark II would. But I would definitely use this thing to kill some zombies. It carries a lot of ammo, it's very, very powerful, it's got a slow fire rate, so you're not going to be wasting unnecessary ammo. You're going to be able to take out a lot of zombies until this thing just eventually stops working. This thing is definitely going to be your killed zombie type of gun. If you can't get the wonder weapon or anything, this thing will definitely do. It's very, very powerful, has a lot of ammo. It's going to be able to take out many, many zombies. So if you were to ask me which is the better weapon out of these two, it's very, very hard to decide because they just do different things in zombies. Yes, they're both guns, but they also have two completely different functions. One's a save you weapon and one's a kill zombies type of weapon. The Rift E9 is better at killing zombies, I feel like, and the RAYGUN Mark II is better at saving you. Does that mean one's completely better than the other? No, they're both fantastic weapons, and depending on the map and what exactly I'm trying to do in that map, I would prefer to have one or the other. If I'm trying to do an Easter egg, you can bet your ass I fucking want that RAYGUN Mark II. But if I'm trying to go to round 50, I might want the Rift E9. It all just depends on the circumstances. So saying all that, I'm going to basically say that these things are tied. They're both fantastic weapons, and I love them both. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know which one you guys prefer. Not which one you guys think is better. You know, just which one would you guys prefer? Let me know down below in those comments. And also, shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome and sexy as hell. I know I say it all the time, but, you know, it's true. That's why I say it. I fucking love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all your support. And if I could give you guys a hug and a kiss, I totally would, because you guys are my homies, and therefore it's not gay. So if you want to be a Patreon supporter, go and check out that link right down there below. And while you're down there, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, because I told you to, and also because it's the best way to come in contact with me, and because I'm starting to stream on Twitch now too. And last but not least, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!